I gave you guys a challenge. I showed you this clip. And then it was your guys' job to not only do a build, but to also vote among all of your builds to choose the best build. Pascal Korn, sorry I slaughtered your name, who said, build a level 3 illusionist wizard, cast phantasmal force to do that character. I can't believe you almost won. You guys are a bunch of cheeky bastards. But luckily, Andrew Baker came swinging with this build and stole it away from you. And not only that, Andrew did a total level 20 build and went into a lot of detail, so I basically didn't add anything, I'm just giving it the breakdown as given. This video is brought to you by the amazing clothing line from Obvious Mimic. I love these shirts. These shirts are awesome. I have a bunch of them. They are high quality, they have awesome artwork, and I like the jokes behind them. It kind of has a humorous feel where you have shirts like Mind Flayer Hypnotherapy. I mean, we all struggle with mental health after all, so why not let a Mind Flayer help you out? If you want to try some out yourself, you can find a link in the description down below. Enjoy. Starting off with race, he went with Variant Human, which makes sense with Trevor Belmont. He went with a +1 to strength and a +1 to charisma, and he took the dual wielder feat. As for our stats, we ended up with 13 in strength, intelligence, and our constitution. We dumped wisdom down to 8, our dexterity is 12, and our charisma is 16. Starting off in level 1, we go into Hexblade Warlock. This is going to allow us to use charisma with one of our whips. We still have to use strength with our other one, but it's going to give us Hexblade's curse as well as hex, so we kind of come in as a hex dual wielding whipper right from the beginning. Pretty neat. Level 2, we're going to go into fighter. We're going to pick up the 2-weapon fighting style, which is going to allow us to use our offhand attack and still get the bonus damage from our dexterity. We're also going to get second wind for just a bit of healing. At level 3, we're jumping back into Hexblade Warlock. We're going to be picking up some invocations here. Fiendish Vigor is going to be huge. Fiendish Vigor is often overlooked for just how much health it gives you. It's easy to think of it as just +8 on top of your normal HP, but it's +8 between every single combat. So over a day, that can be a ton of extra HP. The other invocation you pick up is completely up to you because we're going to be trading it out next level. Speaking of next level, at level 4, we're going into Hexblade Warlock 3. We're going to be taking Pact of the Blade, and we're going to be taking the improved Pact weapon. At level 5, we're going into Paladin. We're going to be getting Lay on Hands so we can do a bit of extra healing. Level 6, we're going Paladin 2. We're picking up Smites here, baby. Level 7, we're going into Fighter 2 to pick up Action Surge. We still haven't picked up extra attacks, so at this point, we're doing an attack. We can do Action Surge, another attack, and then our bonus action attack. Drop a Smite on all 3 of those. So we're already pretty close to what the clip is. We do a bunch of whip attacks, and we drop Smites along with it, but how can we make it even better? Level 8, we're going into Wizard 1. We're going to get Arcane Recovery here. Despite getting all of Wizard's first level spells, which is a ton of utility, this is mainly to get a bit of a spell slot back and invest in our future. Level 2, we're going into Bladesinger. Although we get Blade Song, we're not really spec to use it all that well, so I'm not really going to include it as part of the build structure. Level 10 through 13, we're going to keep going into Wizard. During these levels, we're going to get 2nd and 3rd level spells from Wizard, but more importantly, we're going to get the extra attack feature from Wizard, which allows us to not only make an attack, but also use a cantrip in the same attack. We're going to be picking up an ASI during this time, and we're going to be bumping Charisma, going to 18. Now, while we gained the ability to do an attack and a cantrip, we can't actually use it yet. That's because we can't do the somatic components of our Green Flame Blade while we are holding 2 different whips. That changes once we get to next level because we pick up Warcaster. We do that by going into Hexblade 4. Now when we do our 2 attacks, we can go with Whip Attack, and one of those can be a Green Flame Blade attached to it. However, Green Flame Blade does have a range of 5, so we won't be able to use the reach of our whips if we're using Green Flame Blade. At level 15, we're going into Hexblade Warlock 5, where we're going to be picking up Eldritch Smite. So now we have an additional form of smites we can drop on our enemies. This particular smite knocks them prone if they're large or smaller Brawler without any sort of save. So this can be a really consistent way to set up the rest of our melee attacks with advantage. That's a pretty powerful combo. With advantage, we're going to be hitting more often, we're going to be critting more often. As we crit, we can drop those bigger and bigger smites. Once we hit level 15, we were able to pick up Spirit Shroud, which is going to increase our damage output a lot. Deals an additional D8 per hit that we deal with all these whip attacks we're doing. We're doing 2 whip attacks combined with a green flame blade, and then we can action surge to do another 2, including a green flame blade, and then we can do a bonus action whip attack. On all these attacks, we can drop a smite, whether it be Eldritch or a Paladin smite. Level 16 through 19, we're going back into Wizard. This gets us to those 5th level spell slots to expand the amount of smites we can drop and the amount of spells we can cast. Level 19, we're going into Fighter 3 to pick up Battle Master. This is going to give us some maneuvers, specifically precision attack, lunging attack, and menacing attack. And finally, at level 20, we're going into Fighter 4 to pick up a feat. We're going to pick up the Meta Magic Adept feat to pick up the quickened and subtle spells. So if we wanted to execute that scene, we could do a whip attack, green flame blade, drop a smite on both of those, whatever smite we have, the biggest one we have. Then we can action surge, do the same thing. On top of that, we can drop our maneuver dice at the same time. We can drop a menacing attack, or we can do precision attacks if we miss some. Then with our bonus action, we can go ahead and quicken a fireball for that grand finale. And with that, the build and scene is complete. So I'm impressed, Andrew. You went into a lot of depth and were able to get to that scene quite well. And thank you everyone who voted as well. I'm enjoying this game. I think I'm going to play it a bit more, so stay tuned for that. If you guys think you could have done better than Andrew, leave your build in the comments down below and go ahead and vote down there as well. But with that, my friends, hope you have yourselves an incredible day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.